but I have chosen not to use fish, despite the fact that it is what I use the most, to show you some images of chromogenic in situ hybridization. So the first case, it's a patient born in 1955. She presented with an invasive carcinoma, not otherwise specified, so doctoral, hormone receptor positive, HER2 negative, PN0. She had lumpectomy. This is a mistake, this is not a good case. Yes, it's a good case, sorry. So I changed the order, sorry. So she had a lumpectomy and the tumor measured 2.4 centimeter. It's a grade 2, so it's a PT2 and 0. She had a sentinel lymph node and it was negative. So this is the aspect of the immunohistochemistry. So you can see that we have an heterogeneous aspect. We have some areas that are with moderate to weak staining, and some areas where we have very strong staining. So it looks heterogeneous. If we look here, you can see that we have cells that look really strong, like 3+. But if we look at the entire slide, it's less than 10%, so it cannot be a 3+. And the rest of the cells are 2+ staining. You can see that the normal cells are completely negative, so we have a good internal control. This is other seen from a higher magnification. You can see the difference between what we have on the top. What we have on the top, so very strong staining 3+, and lighter staining 2+. This is a 2+ in my lab. In other labs, this could be 3+, but in my lab, when the staining is this type, it's 2+, and the 3+ are really darker. So it's a 2+ case, it's not a 3+ case, so we decided to do fish. We did fish too, but I'll show you so I will show you two aspects. I will show you the quiche chromogenic and the cis silver. So this is the aspect with the cis from cytovision. So you can see that so it's only one probe. It's the HER2 probe. So you can see here that in the nuclei you have different aspects. You have some cells with only two spots, other cells with 6-7 spots. So you have to count, as it was already said, different numbers of cells. So this is what my proposition. So here you have some cells that you cannot score. It's all the cells with the blue cross, because you are not sure that you have. I will show you here. Those cells you are not sure that you have one cell. You may have some overlapping of nuclei. So when you are not sure, like this one, maybe you have two cells. So not to overestimate the level of HER2 copy, you shouldn't count such a cell. It's the same thing here. You don't know if you have one cell or two cells. So when you have any doubt like that, you shouldn't score this type of cells. So if we come back, so we have counted the spots in the different cells. My advice is you go to 40 or 60 magnification and you don't put too much light. You don't put the condenser. You need to be a little in the dark, because if you have that, you will have a certain brightness. It will be easier for you to look at the spots. So we did the counting on 20 and then on 40 and then on 60 slides. Nuclei, it's what we do when we have borderline results. And in fact, we had 4.17 R2 copies for this case. So in fact, this case will fall into the category equivocal. And that's why 20 nuclei is not enough in cases like that, because when it's really very close to the threshold, because it's not 5 or it's 4.17, so it was better to count more nuclei. So we are in this. We are in the middle where we have between 4 and 6 signals per cell. So it's in the category of each equivocal. So this case is 2 plus by immunohistochemistry with some foci that really looked 3 plus, and the majority of the tumor was 2 plus. So it was an heterogeneous case. And if we look in the area where we had few cells, sometimes 10, 15 cells, where we had the 3 plus signal, in this area you can see that you have much more signals per cells, and in these cells you have more than 10 copies, so you had truly amplified cells in the middle of the other population, where you have between 4 and 6 copies of R2. This is the slides with the SISH from Ventana. So the aspect is a little, it's less clean than with the quiche, but the advantage is the technique can be fully automated in the Ventana machine. But usually you can have this kind of brown background in the nuclei. So, and the spots are bigger. So sometimes it's difficult because you are not sure whether you have 1 spot or 2 spots. And the opposite with the quiche, the spots are smaller. But we did some counting also with the SISH, and we came to a number of to a mean number of 4.2 copies. So here again, we can say that it was confirmed that this case was an heterogeneous case with equivocal status. Just to remind you the cases with heterogeneity. So here we were in the first category where we had a cluster of amplified cells in a background of not non-amplified but in 2 plus cases. So it was clearly heterogeneous, but at the end the result was not a positive case, it was an equivocal, because the amplified area was less than 10%. Okay, so we were in this type of tumor, but the blue cells were like 2 plus cells with equivocal fish status, and the red cells were like 3 plus cells with an amplified status. So the conclusion of this case, it was a PT2 and 0. It was equivocal. The patient was considered as eligible to trastuzumab. It was an heterogeneous case, and she received trastuzumab. So case number 2. So you can see here for this case that you have the top left is the control, the 3 plus control. So it's not very strong, as you can see, as compared to the other technique. And if you look at the slide, you can see that you have staining, but it's a staining which is between 2 and 3 plus. It could be 3 plus if you compare to the control. That's why it's very important always to have controls when you perform your immunohistochemistry, because you can see that if you compare to the other case I showed you, I had the 3 plus were really very dark and very strong. Here the 3 plus in this batch was less strong, and here the problem was that I had cells with an incomplete membrane staining. You can see it better here. So those cases with incomplete membrane staining but of strong to moderate intensity, you need to control them by in situ equalization. So they are in the category 2 plus equivocal, so it's the top. So it's incomplete membrane staining, but circumferential, which is seen in more than 10% of tumor cells. So for this case, I'm going to show you the D-dish. So it's the double staining probe from Ventana. Earth2 is in black, and SEP17 is in red. And here on this slide, you can see that you have some nuclei with a rather high. Sorry. On the top, you have a nuclei with a rather high number of Earth2 copies. And in fact, the count was, in terms of Earth2 copies, 5.23, SEP17 3.15, so it was a polysomic case too, but the ratio was 1.6. Okay, but here, because we have an Earth2 copy number which is of 5.23, the case is classified as equivocal. So it's a case which is eligible also. The patient is eligible to trastuzumab, and this is a case of 2 plus that was with an incomplete membrane staining. So this is one of the category of immunohistochemistry 2 plus. You remember we can have this incomplete membrane staining. It's usually found in the micropapillary subtype, but in this case it was not micropapillary, it was a ductal carcinoma. And this staining was seen at low magnification, so it was at least 2 plus in terms of intensity, and in more than 10% of the tumor cells. This is another example of the dual chromogenic probes. This is the one from DACO, and here it's the opposite. The red is Earth2, and in dark blue you have SEP17. You can see that this case is highly amplified. You have big clusters, big red clusters showing that you have an amplification. And the last image is from Cytovision. They also have a double chromogenic probe. This is also a case that is amplified and polysomic. And you have in green Earth2 and in red SEP17. The main artifact we have with chromogenic in situ alcoholization is that sometimes you have an over-digestion of your tissue, and you will find a completely empty nuclei. We can also have that with fish, but in fact, that's why I use fish more frequently, is that the pre-treatment buffer are more adapted, and we have less frequently this problem of over-digestion. Just a last one, just 2 slides. I show you this case. So you have also an aspect of an heterogeneous staining with a strong staining like 3 plus and another staining that look like 2 plus. So how will you score this case? It's a 2 plus because the 3 plus is inside 2, and inside 2 doesn't count in the scoring. I just wanted to show you that, just to remind you that the only cells where you do the staining are the invasive cells, not the inside 2. And this is also something that you have to be sure when you are scoring your in situ alcoholization, especially if you are doing fish, because you will be in the dark. Only score on the invasive cells and not on the in situ tumor groups. Okay.
Invasive carcinoma, and I give it a case of in-situ carcinoma.
Yes.
So I will apply inside.
Yes, but you don't have to do HER2 on in-situ carcinoma. There is no implication for the patient. So if you only have in-situ, you don't do HER2 except if you have a clinical trial. But we don't do HER2 on in-situ carcinoma. If you want to do it for research purpose, you will apply, of course, but for scoring, if you have an invasive tumor plus in situ, you don't score the in situ, you only score the invasive. If it's only in situ, you don't have to do HER2.
Why would we do a HER2 in DCIS? Why?
I don't do HER2 in DCIS.
You don't, but the clinician would like to have HER2 in DCIS or not? The oncologist.
In France, we don't do immunohistochemistry on in situ carcinoma because we don't have treatment related to the biology. I know that some radiation therapists like to know the HER2 status of an in situ carcinoma because they think that it's more likely to be diffuse and they will probably do a boost of radiation therapy. But to my knowledge, it's not in guidelines. It's only...
That is correct. There are some clinical protocols where the radiation therapists use Herceptin as a radiosensitizer for HER2-positive DCIS. These are only clinical trials. We don't do it routinely. But as you know how the clinicians are, they go to a meeting and they hear one abstract saying that giving Herceptin to HER2-positive DCIS is used in one trial, so they come and routinely ask that. So even in MD Anderson, where we initiated this experimental trial, we are not routinely using. So there is no indication right now to do HER2 in DCIS cases. And I was just discussing with Dr. Bakar. She said that like the way where she practices, the patient population is quite rich, they afford everything, so they are doing FISH on HER2 zero, immunohistochemistry zero samples. To me, that makes more sense because even though the chance is extremely small, you still can pick up maybe 1 in 1,000, 10,000 case that might be FISH positive. So that to me makes more sense than doing FISH, doing evaluation of HER2 in DCIS.
I do FISH for 1+. In my hospital, 1+ invasive, of course. Yes, because now we have more and more cases, like 2% of the 1+ where we have amplification. So we are really doing that more frequently.
Now we are going to do this slide review session, and this is going to be a very informal session. Dr. Manal asked me, we're going to have the microscope. If anybody has a slide that would like to bring, and then we can discuss together, we can do that. So we have one case. So would you like to read the case, sister? With you.
useful.
مش عارفة ماشية في السلايدز بس من البتاع شو دوري عجبنا وحاول أعمل
Start by this case. This is breast mass for a lady 22 years old. Okay, 22, female with this breast mass. We see this area which is cellular and adjacent areas which appear as if we are necrotic or infarctic or something like that. Then we make an bone. This is the cellular area. Now we go to the other area in the cellular area. Like this. So we go to make high power here to see the details and then go step by step to the necrotic area. Nice board.
أستاذ محمد أول صف. So please be patient with us. We're experimenting this method. Dr. Manal said, like, let's try how it is going to work. So please be patient with us.
This area, see in the cellular, like here, and then we go inside this seems necrotic. This is the lowest power of 4. Then we move to the higher. Like that. You see? Yeah, but just see that it's power and then make it high. This again, this is the cellular area, and this higher, and then this area, there are areas of growth. Then we go to high power to this area. This is the cellular area, and then we move from this to the
as we go to the side of the infarct area, we find this appearance. See this? What are these? What are these cells? And then gradually we go the same appearance of the cells here and here. You see all these cells. What are these cells? I don't know. I don't know. Just show you the necrotic area and then I leave it. You see here, and then just show you the area of necrosis or infarction. This is the area beside these cells. This is the area of necrosis or infarction. That's it. These are the components of this disease.
Whatever it is extremely unusual. So I will give you my differential diagnosis, and then we can go like how I would approach this, and then we can inform the discussion. So to me, like some of the areas that you show the edges, it's a quite well circumscribed process. And then in the lesion, it seems like there is definitely a two cell type areas, like the luminal cells, and then around it a little more clear cells, this hyalinized matrix. So to me, when I see this two cell type forming these glandular structure, I always think of a myoepithelial lesion. And then the well circumscription and these, in terms of cytology, I didn't really feel that it is clearly malignant. So I'm thinking more in the myoepithelial proliferations like salivary gland type lesions. That is the first thing that I'm thinking. This area of necrosis that you are showing, I'm not sure if it is a really necrosis or infarct as you mentioned, and these any type of proliferations in breast, such as papillomas and myoepithelial lesions, you can have that. So with the well, when I see that clear set, so that's what I'm thinking. So my threshold in my mind right now is some sort of a benign myoepithelial lesions like pleomorphic adenoma or some sort of a salivary gland type lesion in breast. So with that differential diagnosis, I would do some and then you can have some spindling of those. So I would do some immunohistochemistry to say that this is are these cells really myoepithelial or not.
The necrosis may be ascribed to greater stroke.
It is too much just for biopsy, but then you can see, when you think about the cellular gland pleomorphic adenomas, you can see areas of necrosis like that. So that is my differential.
But if we do immuno and prove that these are
Glial cells. Then I would say like cellular gland type, I would really evaluate the entire margin, so to me it looks like a well circumscribed. So if you prove that these are really myoepithelial cells, I would just say adenoma. Adenoma, like salivary gland type adenoma. Yes, that's what I would. Yeah, so